Hello, my name is H.E. Roselle, and I'm the author of the Benton County series. And this is the backstory of the ghost of Benton County. Well, I'm home alone. The power's out. It's freezing here on the edge of the Talladega National Forest in Roselltown. So I thought, what better time than to talk about a ghost story? But I'm having trouble reading my script. I can think of no worse thing to befall a man or a woman than to lose a child. That's got to be the worst. And when I was growing up in Atmore on Saturday nights when I was fixing to go out carousing, I can just hear my mama saying, "Eddie, now you be careful. If a policeman came up knocking on the door to tell me you've been killed in a car wreck, I'd rather he'd just take his gun out and shoot me." Well, then I thought, well, that was just hyperbole, and I didn't think too much about it. But when you have kids and grandkids, you know that you just about as soon the policeman who shoots you tell you such a terrible thing. And so two of our reoccurring characters, Winston and Sadie Sawyer, have recently lost a child. And he was murdered by a maniac in the full Catastrophe story that precedes, well, 2 stories back, if you want to find out the backstory on the maniac that killed the child. And so what we're trying to do now is Winston and Sadie are approached by a scientist who's been discredited. Nobody thinks much about him, and they don't pay any attention to his theories and things. But he tells Winston, "I can bring your child back." So Winston jumps at it. Now, if you've read any of my stories or watched any of these, you know there's always another layer. There's another story. And in this book, the second layer is about, I'm a retired school teacher. And during those years that I taught, I think it was about 100 years I taught, that I had a lot of fun. But I also witnessed tragedies, and I saw some terrible things happen. So woven into the ghost story are 4 subplots. And we start off in chapter 1. I'm telling about a happy, well-adjusted, successful, loving family to get a base, and that happy family is based on these folks. But then, part 1, chapter 2, 3, and 4, chapter 2 is a story of a child that's ignored, which can be terrible. Chapter 3 is about a child who is neglected. And chapter 4 is a chapter on molestation. And all of these are based on real things I've seen, and about the child being molested. That actually happened very close to the way I tell it. And there's a scene in there when the school teacher and his friend, kind of like a guy I knew named Neil Rabin, who's deceased now, are going to confront the molester. And the school teacher asks, held the back of a Harley Davidson Sportster, incidentally. And the school teacher yells and says, well, what are we going to do if we catch him? And Neil said, without blinking an eye, kill him. So if you want to know how that story comes out, it's a true story. You'll have to read the book. Well, the real horror story in all of this is, I wonder how many times while I was teaching that a child comes in acting out, throwing his books, he's gotten in trouble on the bus, or a lot of times she's gotten in trouble on the bus. She's just really acting out. And there I go, jump down their throat. You know, I want to establish order and get her back acting right. But it didn't take time to think sometimes what made that child act like that. What was going on at home that was so bad and so dangerous that the child has just suddenly gone off the rails? Well, it's too late for me to go back and fix my mistakes, but I hope that if you see a child suddenly acting out, don't try to punish them as your first resort. Try to get to the bottom of it, find out what's going on and do something about it. So that's kind of a backstory. Now, why did I write a ghost story? I grew up watching sci-fi and horror movies down at the Strand Theater in Atmore, Alabama in the 50s and 60s. And I don't think I missed a single one of them. I loved them. And we always knew when the giant creature or the space monster or the teenage whatever was about to appear by the sound of the theremin. And I love that sound. Right now, if I know a movie's got that sound in it, I don't care how cheesy it is, I'll watch it. So I've tried to capture the mood of those old movies, but without a theremin. I don't know if I've measured up or not. You'll have to read it and you be the judge. You tell me. So, check out The Ghost of Benton County, the book. And see if I got it right upside down. And you tell me, you be the judge. Is it scary enough? What's going on? You're supposed to attack me.
Gotcha.